Oh, snap. We are live.
Hey,
Okay, what's going on, everybody?
How you guys doing? I'm just checking to make sure that I'm, not crooked because you know how Facebook can be.
Yes, make sure that you're not turned on your side. And there we go. We are.
Hey,
Look, we're
live
streaming
everywhere, you guys.
right
Yes.
everywhere. We have multiple videos going on multiple platforms right now because we're gonna get this word
This is
out.
important.
Yes, and look, we got a viewer on YouTube too.
Hey.
Yes, you guys, we decided to bring this to YouTube, not to just have it on Facebook. As long as technology is our friend, we're going to do that. So for those of you that don't know, quite, simple intro, you're going to see us going back and forth between the screens. But I am August Crenshaw, I'm a business coach, and this is
Imani Aisha, and I'm a marriage coach.
And together we are bringing you Couch Conversations.
Yes, we are.
Where we're going to talk about what you're dealing with in your marriage and dealing with in your business. Hey,
Absolutely.
hola, Camille.
Hola.
Because the trials and the struggles of entrepreneurship are very real, and we found a void going on where, hey, Nishi, where people were, women were coming to me and getting help with their business, but then they would have these issues strike up in their marriages, and then people were
coming to me, and some entrepreneurs were like, yeah, we have these things going on in our marriages, but part of that issue is the things that are going on in our business that we haven't been able to resolve. So.
Absolutely. And so you guys, you need help in both areas, and it becomes this like strange dynamic where you feel like you got to choose. And so we're saying that you don't have to choose. We are living a dynamic life.
Yes.
In our business and our marriage. And so we want to pass this on to you guys. And so every week, Monday, thank you for the love. Every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be here for Couch Conversations.
Absolutely.
To talk about what things look like in your business and your marriage.
Yeah, and real talk about it too, the things that we talk about amongst ourselves.
Yes.
So like, let's bring that to the forefront because that's the conversation that needs to happen. So I'm excited always to do this with you. We know what's going to happen, but we also don't know what's going to happen. So
absolutely. And so we started. Do we? Let's make sure. I want to make sure we still stand on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to go ahead and pull out the questions because we did more like an introductory style video initially.
Yeah.
But we asked you guys to submit some questions, put a couple posts up there, and so the question that came up that we decided we typed them all out, right? And then we pulled them out of a hat, was how do you help your husband get on board with it takes money to make money? Okay, and so we kind of reframed this question just to teach, excuse me, because I got a little bit of a throat issue right now. But this was the thing of, okay, it's not just about it takes money to make money, but there's a lot of things that we're going to have to touch about the dynamics of finances in your home, and then what's actually really going on with the financial health of your business.
Absolutely.
But before we start,
we got something to tell you and to show you.
Who remembers this? What's this? This right here are the entries. I love colors.
It's beautiful. I like it too.
She likes colors too. But we did tell you guys that, this is a movement and we're really serious. So before we get into talking about the dynamics of the topic today, if you have not shared this video, we are really asking you to share it. If there's some people that you've had these sensitive conversations with and you want to see them experience a stronger dynamic in their business and marriage, to tag them in the videos.
Right.
So for everyone that's here to participate live, for those of you that tag your friends and family that you know need this, as well as those of you who share the video, we will enter your name in here. And on July the 16th, we'll be doing a drawing to give someone a free opportunity to have a one-on-one with the two of us. So we'll talk about what's going on in your marriage and your business. So, hey, Tiffany, I see.
Tiffany.
And who else we got?
Hey, Shanette. It's Monique.
Okay, so you guys are coming on in. So just want to put that out there. You get every time you're live with us, make sure you type it in the comments so that I can go back and tally. I don't have to remember say hey or something. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for sharing, Nietzsche. I saw that.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate
it.
Hey, Felice.
And I was going to look. I'm glad she shared, because when you share, you get your name put in three times. Because sharing is even more powerful, because then it just gives people the option to see. So we do have quite a few people from last week, and we got 3 more weeks to go. So we just wanted to put that out there.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm really excited about that too, because this expands the conversation. And anybody who's been on August's page or my page know that we're all about making sure that we have real conversations with folks, because that's where it starts.
Absolutely. Hey, Simone, see you're here too. Okay, so let's see. I know we got to outline because we want to try to stay on task, right? You guys.
we try.
Yes, but so any questions or comments that you guys have, I definitely want you to put them in the comments. I know, Imani as well. And we're going to kind of go through our dialogue first, and then we're going to circle back around to your questions just to make sure that we keep the focus. And who knows, as we're going, we may actually be answering your questions along the way. So
the beauty of conversation. Hey, Rosario, I wanted you to know that we see you too.
Yes, hello.
Appreciate it. So we want to really touch on, and it's ironic, we're touching the business first because we're talking about, the question was about getting your husband on board with what you have to invest in your business, with the idea of it takes money to make money. And so we both know that dynamic well. We've made our, mistakes in it, or we've learned, we've had our journey with that just as entrepreneurs, real talk, because that's what happens. But in terms of the business, how do you get your hubby on board when it comes to the business investment?
So one of the things that I really want to bring to the table first is that, when it comes to entrepreneurship, the vast majority of us we just have a gift, right? We have a talent. We realize that we want to do something other than corporate America because we want to feel alive. And most of us at some point, we go through transitions, right? It's one of those things where it's kind of like, somebody realizes you love makeup and they maybe come to you about doing some Mary Kay or something like that. And you sign up for it and, you're not necessarily really feeling it. Then maybe you try something else. Not that everybody goes through this, but a lot of us, what we end up doing is we try so many different things and we don't even realize the frustration or the strain that's on our spouse with being tolerant and patient with us being able to make money in our business. But then let's just say when you graduate, you get to that point, you're like, I know that I'm supposed to be a life coach. I know that I'm supposed to be a nutritionist. I know that I'm supposed to be a business coach or a marriage coach or whatever that is. What ends up happening, even though you finally found that passion, you just really still boil down to one thing. You guys, you understand that you have a gift. And you'll find me, because I have a very raw conversation. I say a lot of times, a lot of you will know how to make money, but you don't know how to run a business. And so in the beginning, out the gate, there's almost like beginner's luck, those initial prayers to God. You feel like I prayed and, you send me a client or I made some money or something like that. And so one of the things you got to really look at from a business perspective is, can you present, and this is where it's going to shift from me because we're going to kind of ping pong back and forth. Do you even really have a plan that you can present to your spouse to say, hey, I am getting ready to start this business. I'm going to be making some money? Or is it one of those emotionally driven conversations? And from the business side, for me, what that looks like for you guys is, oh my God, I saw this woman. She was really, really dynamic. And I signed up for this free opt-in. And when she spoke, it just made things so clear for me. Right. And it said that, if I just do this, and this, that I could be well on my way to building a very profitable business. Right. And at some point, I think all of us have been at that place where we're opting in for every freebie. We're spending $9.97, $2.97, $97, $47, something somewhere. And we spend a lot of time investing a lot of money, but not really knowing how to really get an ROI on that. Right. Not really knowing what it takes to be online or even offline. What does it mean to effectively present yourself in order to draw your clients to you? What does that really look like to have a level of communication with people where you don't even really have to sell, where they're coming to you and saying, I want your product, I want your service. And what do you present? When you throwing everything out there, you're not really knowing how to show up online to effectively make money. Right. And then you have this dynamic with talking to your spouse.
And as you're talking, I'm thinking about, you guys have heard this. Let me know if you've heard this, and some hearts or likes with the, you throw the spaghetti on the wall, you trying to see what sticks at the end. I'm thinking about this image. And then not only are you throwing the spaghetti on the wall because you're passionate, you're hopeful about your business and you feel connected to it, but then you're also expecting that your spouse is going to feel like, okay, I'm cool too with looking at the spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's often not the case, because unless they're in the business with you, which a lot of the ladies who come to us, that's not the case.
Right.
Unless they're doing the business with you, they are somewhat removed from exactly what you're doing, the day-to-day stuff and all of that. And so when you're talking about what's the plan, when you have the conversation about, hey, I want to spend this money, I want to put this money on the table for my business. Doing your due diligence is important for your business. Yes. And it's also important to have the conversation with your spouse, because if you don't, then you're just saying, well, exactly the excitement. I saw this. I want to, it's $1,000 for the program. And I really think that we're going to do it. And let's go. This is going to be the thing that's going to take my business to the next level. And August and I are both really big on words. So next level doesn't really mean anything. Like, what is next level?
Right.
Right. Like, how do you measure that when it's something that's passionate? It's not really this fully quantitative thing that you can express. And so if you are doing your due diligence and you're like, I want to take it to the next level, that's not going to necessarily resonate with your spouse. So we're talking about getting your spouse on board. It's like, babe, I've done my due diligence. Look what I'm coming with. You know what I mean? Like, I've vetted this person. I've heard them speak. They're dynamic. These are the kind of results they've been getting for their clients. These are the kind of results that, we want to get and I want to get for the business. This is what I'm seeing as the bottom line. This is how much we're making in our business. This is the void that I need to fill with my business because I'm not making that money consistently, or I'm dealing with some feast and famine, right? And so when you come with your due diligence and not just kind of this, for lack of a better phrase, kind of this pie in the sky, I'm hopeful and I'm prayerful. You mentioned prayerful. I'm hopeful and I'm prayerful about that. When you come to it with the semblance of, look, I've researched this, I've done this, and I'm bringing it to you with a sense of understanding that this is my business and I'm running it like a business. And that goes back to what you were saying about people know how to make money, but not how to run a business.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that I really want all of the ladies on here to really think about is, what is that area, that key area of weakness in your business? What, and when I say, what is that weakness, also put that with, what is your main desire? If you've seen that this online thing really opens up the door, right, for you to be able to have more freedom, at least that's what the expectation was.
Absolutely.
To have more freedom, to have more flexibility, to be able to play the role of this passionate individual in society, but then also to have more flexibility with your child, or your children and your spouse to, do what you do with your family. When you get out here and you start running the business and you don't know what to do, part of the stress is you guys are just pulling at straws. You're like, okay, well, I think I'm supposed to be on Facebook. I think I'm supposed to be on IG. I believe that my website is supposed to be okay. Well, maybe I should be going to networking events, and I should be at my, connecting with other local business owners. And, and you get to doing all of these things. And it's all the things that you have not mastered. It's simple things like, you'll see some people that'll say, yes, I'm an author, coach and motivational speaker. And some people really can intro like that. Like, Lisa Nichols can come out here and tell you that she's 15 things, but she even at some point in her life established herself at a foundational place. So she wasn't just throwing the spaghetti at the wall. And so you're scared. Let's just be real. You're scared to settle in one spot because you're afraid that you're going to miss money. And the thing about it is, we can, look, not to step too far into your arena, but we can sometimes confuse our spouse's inability to feel something wrong and not being able to articulate it with them not being on board. And so men, not all, have a tendency to be very matter of fact. What do you want? So what you saying, you're going to invest in this, but when you going to make the money back? Well, the last thing that you invested in, you said you were feeling that, but you said that all you did was a couple of assignments and you haven't made any money. And they may not understand, but they know what clarity is. And you're not hearing something, you're not saying something to make the light bulb go off because you can't. And that's one of the things that I work with people with, to say, wait a minute, hold up, sweetie. Talk to me about what your vision is. So then I can say to you, okay, that's a viable product or it's not. And to get you to understand, okay, but if you're going to communicate this offer, this thing that you want to do out there in the public arena, that this is how you do it, and this is how you sell, and this is how you actually make money. And what a lot of entrepreneurs are not realizing, and not everybody's talking about strategy, but they ain't talking about your mind, and they're not talking about the actual business of making money. And most of you, I'm all look.
I know. I'm like,
okay, I'm gonna say this really quick, and I'm gonna pass the mic really quick. But something as simple as sales. I mean, most of us are petrified of it, but it's the lifeline. You know, I always say that sales is to the business when money is to the business as blood is to the body. But go ahead, because I don't want to stop you.
No, it's just like, I love August because she'll say things and I'm like, oh, I got something I want to say, but she sparks something in me, just like she sparks something in, you know, our clients and anybody who she speaks to. And so when you were talking about the questions that a man would ask, that your husband is asking you about your business, it clicked for me, and I know it's going to click for some of you, what the response usually is to those questions. Because when he's asking these matter-of-fact questions, how do we really internalize those questions? We're like, oh, so you just, you know what I mean? Why are you asking me this? Like, I'm telling you that I need this thing over here, and I feel like you're trying to break it down. I feel like you're trying to poo-poo on my dream, you know, and then you internalize, and that's not what they said, right? So this is kind of that separating fact from fiction, right? So they ask those questions. This is a business. But from the perspective of knowing your spouse, knowing yourself, having the dynamic that you have and the habits that you've already established when it comes to talking to each other about money or whatever it is, you are internalizing it as, you know what, you don't really see what I see. You don't really get what I'm getting. You're not really trying to do what I'm trying to do. You're not on board with this. And so I'm seeing you questioning this as you questioning me.
Right.
You questioning these things about my business that are legitimate questions. You help people navigate that. And so the dynamics of not being able to really separate that fact from fiction, because it's habit, that's what I connect with couples on, right? That's part of the layers of, well, I'm listening to you. You guys are having a completely different conversation, you know, not with each other. And so that's something that you get underneath so that you can have those conversations about your business, about the reality of your business, about what it is you need for your business, and actually get it, right? And so I wanted to.
But see, and what you did, you see, and this is what I love about working with you too, is she'll say something, right? And it'll get me going because it's that fact from fiction thing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of you will take something like speaking it into existence, attracting what you believe and believing God for something, and it becomes a fiction conversation. It's not a real conversation because the bottom line is whatever it is that you want or you desire in your business, that you have to understand that you have to embody, you know, whatever that is. And then the actions will follow along with it. And you have to ask yourself, honestly, am I really doing the things that align with the objective, the goal, the end, the finish line? And when you can't look and say, this is what I'm doing, and this is all making sense, you know, when you can't do that, that's what causes the friction in the relationship, because it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And even though somebody may not be able to tell you what to do, they know you look confused. And even as a coach, you know, I'll look and I'll see certain things. That's why I come after some of you guys. I'm like, because you said you wanted to do this, but I saw you post that, and what you're doing and what you're saying, it's not lining up. And so you have to ask, am I having a real conversation? Am I setting real expectations? Yes, you extend the parameter of it because a goal is going to push you. But, you know, are you extending it too far? I'm going to go sign up with this person so I can learn the 6 steps to make 6 figures in 6 days, versus really coming because we get grown, right? Most of the people that come to us, they're usually, not all age, but somewhere in the lower 30s to upper 40s. And you know, you don't have that same 18-year-old, I signed up with this MLM and I'm gonna be, you know, rich, you know, by tomorrow. And we know that it doesn't work like that. And so there's fear and there's hesitation to support you guys in your business, because you can't articulate what you're doing. And that's one of the things that we're helping you with. So we're helping you with articulating the plan, but we got to get you to recognize what the plan is for and how to execute it. And then also peeling back those layers. That's where you come in, you know, peeling back the layers of all of those other things that has already caused some level of resistance in your spouse to accept this new venture that you have going on, or another layer of an investment to take your business to the next level.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know, there's a million thoughts, you guys, because we're thinkers, but I will hone in on, you know, that separating fact from fiction and being able to deal with what's real and what you're saying about what's real in your business. Because we know overnight successes that's not some norm, but that's what they sell you, you know, what I mean, from the business perspective. And one thing about, and this may be going kind of deep, but the habits that we talked about, the habits that you form when you're talking to your spouse, and the relationship is like, do you know yourself? A lot of us do. We know ourselves in that sense where these are the things that we should, even if we don't celebrate about ourselves. A lot of women have to work on that part. And these are the things where, like, oh, I hope nobody hears me say this in the dark. You know, we understand that about ourselves. And do you know who your spouse is, how they function, how they deal? And if that's the case, then you know what sets them off. They know what ticks you off. And so the habits that you've created that make it difficult to do conversations and have communication deal differently, to talk and speak differently to your spouse about money, about your business, about your passions, about running your household and all the things in between, is that part of you knows, like, oh, I know what's going to set them off, but I'm going to speak my piece right now. Or I'm going to shut my mouth and avoid even dealing with you, and you're just not going to know what's going on. And so navigating, understanding who your spouse is, who you are, and being able to respect that both ways, dealing in business and in your marriage is going to make leaps and bounds. And I'm gonna say it's not easy. It's not easy to make those different decisions when you've been doing the other thing for a minute.
Absolutely. And so we've been going for a second, and I'm imagining, I've seen a couple of comments coming on my side. I'm going to start scrolling backwards, but I'm imagining that this is definitely get some triggers for you guys. And so where are you at? You know, what do you feel like your biggest dilemma is? What's popping up for you when it comes to your spouse supporting or not supporting the business? Tapping into the vision, understanding that, you know, it's time for you to make another investment, for you to up level. What are those issues that you're dealing with? Let's see what kind of comments that we had. I know I had a couple come in. Let's see. Yes. Let's see. The plan was critical in my house. My uber organized plan at first mind was to my advantage with the conversation with my husband.
Okay,
awesome. And it made a super duper big difference. And something else I would like to point out, and that's only because you've been willing to be so transparent on so many levels on different videos, Camille, is that one of the things that we did was, it was like, you know, some of you, I don't know, you may not want this level of intimacy, you know, from a coach, and I totally get that. But when Camille and I first started working together, one of the main things I did was I said, what do you want? Financially, what are your expectations? You know, let's have a realistic conversation. If this thing were to not necessarily be successful, because we know that the greats, right? The Walt Disneys, the Kentucky Fried Chickens, the you know, all of those people that they fail. Some of them went bankrupt. People, Tyler Perry's, they were sleeping in their car, you know, homeless. If things did not go the way that you wanted them to go, you know, what's the worst case scenario for you? And so I literally had her write out every single bill. Now, mind you, since she was uber organized, this wasn't difficult for her. But as a coach, I was like, what is your electric? What is your gas? What is your car note? What is your insurance? How often do you like to spend? What kind of money do you spend per month on your diet? You know, because I know what you make on your job. But even if you couldn't replace your income immediately, based, because she wanted to leave her job at a very accelerated rate. And I was like, wait a minute, if you want to do that, let's look about the responsibilities to get the clients and to build the business, but to also write down all the things. Even had her write down, if this is going to be your income, this is how much you need to take out for taxes. You know, because this is going to be a new responsibility for you, which left her in a place, like she said, to have a real conversation. But how many of you, I mean, we don't, most of us aren't even taught how to handle our money. Right. Let's just be real about that. We learned from the school of hard knocks, and we filed bankruptcy 1, 2, 3 times, you know, while we too worried about Mr. Trump, the president. You know, I just had to throw it out there. I'm just being real because it's real life. I know his motivation, he's utilizing the system, but at the end of the day, we are utilizing the system because we've had those moments, those hard moments where we've had to do what we could do in order to get what we could get done. And so looking at those numbers and drilling it down, that's what she got from her coach. Right. You know, I'm gonna throw this in here too, because this is super duper important. While I'm scrolling up to the oh yeah, because that next, I'm gonna add this in here because I want you all to understand just how in depth we are. I remember when we were talking about email marketing and her building her list, right? Because we all know that building a list, they tell us that that's what you need to do, and if you're not building a list, that you're crazy, and you know, so on and so forth. And so we were talking about how does she establish her business to spend the least amount of money so that she can get the most amount of profit. And I literally did the math, and some of you, you know, you can check that out, where I broke down to her that the people that are making the real money, that are real about business, will tell you that statistically, a person with a solid list has an open rate of about 30%.
Right.
And of the 30% of people that open, somewhere between 2 to 10% actually click, but only about 2% of the people that click through actually purchase. Yeah. And so when I showed her, based on her income, based on how much she was charging per product, based on the statistical data, how many people she needed on her list, and because people are spammed so much, the probability of her being able to establish that list in the time frame that she wanted to leave her job, then it was to get her to really click and understand, you build the list, but the list is not where you start. Build a program, a viable option to get people to sign up to work with you ASAP, and you build. But things like that level of vision and execution, understanding what's the best decision and the choice for you.
Yeah.
When you're inside of your own head, when you've never ran a business before, that's where business coaching comes in at.
Absolutely.
That's why we're here, because we're trying to help you understand. I want you to take the path of least resistance to get profitable the fastest. She's here.
I was gonna say, I want you to take the path of least resistance to, in a short time, to be able to feel connected and increase the intimacy in your marriage.
Yes.
Because it, you know, sex is great. It's just not all about the sex, right? But to be able to do that, and like you said, I remember working with someone, and they were on different pages in how they dealt with money. And if we're really honest, who do you know that's really, because of all the things that we deal with when it comes to really our relationship, personal relationship with money, what couples do you really know come to the marriage completely on the same page about how to spend the money, how to deal with the money, how to dole out the money, how to save the money, where to invest, etc. And so all couples have to navigate those financial conversations.
Yes, they do.
And she was more of the one to be like, I'm ready to spend. And it wasn't frivolous, but it was very full of faith. It was like, okay, I'm going in there and this is something that I need to invest in. This has come up for me and I want to do it. And her husband was more like, I need to process this. I need to think about it. I don't want to jump. I don't want to move, which meant that sometimes opportunities were lost, right? Which led to conflict, which led to, like, you know, if you would just move on this, you know what I mean? If you would just man up, you know, which starts a whole other kind of thing, right? If you would just do this, then we'd be in a situation where I could make these investments, where I can do this thing. And what was deeper, in part, I talked about it before with, you know, who you are, who your spouse is, and being able to navigate and respect that, because we work with very intelligent people. It's not that they don't really know fully. It's not that they haven't thought about it. It's not that they're not thoughtful, but they don't know how to execute it, like you said.
Exactly.
And so we had to get down to, this isn't just about the money conversation. This is about how you guys make decisions, whether they're for the long haul or the short haul.
Absolutely.
And decisions, you got to make them all the time in a marriage. You know?
You absolutely do. You got to make them all the time in your business.
In your life, in your business.
and the bottom line is, and I just really want to reiterate, that's why we're here together. Because it's time for this, okay, I want to get some help with my marriage, but I really need my business to flourish.
Yeah.
And let me just say it really plain, ladies. Let me say it really, really plain. When you have had moments where you felt like your dream has been lost, you've missed opportunities, when you are already dealing with friction in your marriage, you forget why you got into the relationship in the first place. Yeah. As I've heard you say, people say, I can't even see a future with this person anymore. And so your heart and the attachment and the affection is to that individual, but your survival is at the root of your decisions. Absolutely. And so the vast majority of you are making the decision to invest in getting the help with your business because you're thinking that the money will set you up if this shit doesn't work out. Because you're believing that the money will cure the issues that you're having in the relationship, but because you don't know exactly what you're doing, you don't know the path of least resistance, you're continuously widening the gap. And I love how you talk about, you put your relationship on the shelf, and so you don't recognize it. And we keep on saying this, and we're going to drill it in your heads. We're saying that it's time out for that. Yeah. You guys need help with the marriage, and you need help with the business.
And I'll just say that, like, to say what you said, because I have said that, people are like, I've had people tell me they can't see the future. And the reality is that so many people are out here as they're building their business, feeling like they're doing it alone, not just doing the business alone, when they know that there's guidance needed, but also navigating their marriage and their household alone. And you didn't get married to do it alone. I mean, literally you didn't.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So you didn't get married to be roommates. You didn't get married to deal with an exit plan that, you know what I mean, you don't really want to execute in your spirit, but you're feeling so much like you're doing alone. It's like, well, I might as well. Right. And then that causes friction as well.
Absolutely. So true. You got somebody with a comment.
I do. Valencia. Hey, Valencia. Most men are processors of things before they do things. My father was that way, and my husband is the same way. He is a big planner. Yeah, and they absolutely.
Yeah. And you know what? They are processors and they are planners more than likely. Mm-hmm. But a lot of you ladies would be amazed at the level of faith that your husband has when you come to him and articulate a conversation, because your spouse does not wake up in the morning saying, I don't want to believe in my wife. You don't wake up in the morning saying, I don't want to believe in my marriage. Yeah. Nobody, we don't wake up in the morning saying, I want to sabotage all of my dreams. And if you know that they're a processor, you got to give them something to process. And if you're not giving them something to adequately process, they're confused. And so they don't move and they don't jump in.
And so this questions that you internalize.
Right, exactly. And so this is not about blame, but this is about us saying, ladies, it's your business. It's your marriage. Somebody's got to make the move. Right. Somebody's got to make the move. And so we don't want you to compromise anymore. So you've gotten a little bit of insight from us today. You know, some of you need to be thinking about. And so for those of you that can walk away from this video and say, you know what, I'm going to sit down, and I've never you have the plan, but you realize you've never articulated, then, you know, kudos to you. Go do that. Go have that conversation with your spouse and let them know where you're at so that you can shift that energy in your relationship and in your business. But some of you are going to kind of struggle with this, and you're like, I know I need to do this, but you're so far removed from having healthy conversation. You're so far removed from what the results should look like. They would really want to encourage you. Imani will put her link up. I'll put my link up. It's the same application. We just, you know, put it out there. It's no charge to sit down and talk with us, just to see what's going on with you, to see what's going on in your relationship, and to see what's going on in your business. The website is packagepriceprofit.com, www.packagepriceprofit.com. Go on there, fill out an application, and get a one-time complimentary consultation with us to look at how we can help you. This is not the same thing as gifting that session with us. This is an overview and just to kind of talk and get a feel for where you are. And we want you to do this because we do want you all to know that we do have a program coming up. Yeah. We have a program coming up to help you all with this, to get you from, you know, making mediocre money in your business to having that accelerated growth, getting rid of the mediocrity in the marriage.
Mm-hmm. And knowing that you, like we've been drilling in this too, that this is the opportunity for you to not have to make that choice.
Yes.
For you to say, okay, this is something that's going to help me in both arenas, because you guys can see the synergy between, okay, once you create that plan, you do the due diligence for your business. Now, how do you articulate it to someone who you felt have been dismissive, who you feel is not really supporting you, who you feel is kind of leaving you to do it by yourself and doesn't really get what it is that you're doing and how passionate you are about doing it? How do you change the habits that you've had in terms of dealing with your husband in your marriage?
Yes.
And so it goes, once you have it, if you don't do anything with it, then you're still going to have the issues in your marriage. And if you are communicating all willy-nilly, then you don't have a solid plan for your business, and you're going to see that, you know, at you in the side as well.
Absolutely. And so, and those habits, you're going to see that these things run parallel.
Yeah.
So when you have the habits in the relationship, because it messes with your energy and your mindset, you also have those habits that transcend into your business. But some of it is just because you really don't know what to do. And what I don't want you to do is what I did. I can say this for what I did with my clients, but I can also say it for what I've done with myself, is that there was a time when I was doing all the things, but all the things that I was doing weren't necessarily right for me. And so there is a way to navigate this world, this online arena and offline arena, because yes, I do work with brick and mortar, and I do also work with people that are strictly online, but understanding how to navigate, you know, what to do, getting clarity, getting you to take yourself to another level without you having to drain yourself. A lot of you want to make more money in your business, but if the ideal of it means more clients, it's like there's only so many hours in the day, and that will cause you to operate out of a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get more clients, but I need more money. Well, it's not about making everybody a high ticket seller either. I'm gonna tell you that just really plain and clear, because you know, if you're making cupcakes, you know, you're not, if you sell a $5,000 cupcake, which I know, what was that lifestyles that they used to do, like on
of the rich and famous?
Oh no, but it was what was that? VH1 and stuff, and they used to show the people that went and bought the $5,000 burger, you know, and stuff like that back in the day. You know, everybody's not going to be able to sell a $5,000 cupcake. You know, but what does it look like to actually get a premium offer based on your business, and understanding how you can give yourself permission to expect and desire more?
Yeah.
That is, you should. And I can honestly tell you that I don't know a single woman in business, even if you were just a massage therapist charging $65, they should have been charging $120. Right. I don't know a single woman in business that has not had to be challenged about their pricing. Yeah. Not to force you into anything you don't want to be in, because some of you do want to serve. Some of you do want your pricing and your products to also match the energy of ministry in your business, but without sacrificing it and making it a full ministry. Having a coach that's going to not give you a cookie cutter approach to your business and saying, well, what is your vision? Right. What's your vision and what do you want? And how do I help you execute that, while also giving you the skills that you need in order to be able to market and advertise yourself, to be able to get out there and to effectively sell without being some sleazy scumbag that's selling water to a whale, but actually getting things to the clients that you need. That's part of my dynamic in this program as a coach, to take you to the next level, is to really know who you are and know what your business is, and then help you get out there, get past the mindset glitches that are stopping you from showing up in the way that you're supposed to, that says that I am worthy to receive. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to navigate through, but I'm here to serve you and I'm ready. But let's make sure that we're ready to connect.
Yes.
Fill out that application to talk to us.
Yeah. And my role in the coach is to get just as deep with you in your marriage. And the who are you question stands for me. Who are you? What is it that you want? Yes. And how do you want to show up as a wife in your marriage? Because thank you so much, Nishi.
Thank you.
And I see you, Valencia, as well. And that's a huge part of it. We dig in hard so that we can get to that place, because working with an individual woman, because I do that, I work with wives individually as well, is about saying, okay, what is it that you want here? Where is it that you want to show up confidently when you're talking to your spouse? You don't want to have to avoid or hide things. You don't want to have a spirit of resentment. You want to feel like you can do all the things and that you have the support that you need. You want to feel heard. This has always been a big one. You want to feel heard. You want folks to be able, well, not folks, you want your husband to be able to really see you and listen to you and really get, you know, where it is that you're coming from, and you're having difficulty, like we said, articulating that. And so if you want to feel that intimacy, you want to be heard, you want that friendship and that partnership where you're not dealing in a spirit of independence, right? Because we're independent individuals, but if you're dealing in a spirit of independence and you're married, then there's a disconnect there. And it can be very difficult, because when we try to change the habits that we've already had, there's a conflict going on. We're battling between the change we're trying to make and who we feel like we are and how we're showing up. And then you're also battling about, well, my spouse didn't really feel like I made a change, so I guess I'm done with that, because you tried it for a week, or you tried to shift things up. But that consistency, it needs to be there, right? It just is like it does in your business. And so you want that intimacy, and you want to feel like you're close to your spouse, even as the dealing with the dynamics of building and growing your business to where it is that you want it to be. You don't want to lose the marriage. You don't want to lose yourself. And I think a lot of both of us deal with that aspect of it. And so we don't do some surface cookie cutter crap. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Right.
I mean, we dig in because you're going to be transformed, and is going to go beyond even what you think you probably need, because that's how we kind of dig in with folks.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys, and we are going to be back here again next Monday.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull out another juicy topic.
Yes.
Please, if this is stimulated, you know, anything in you, it's made another conversation rise to the surface. You know, put your question that you would desire to be answered in the comments. Mm-hmm. We're going to take them and we keep on drawing them out. Before we do get out of here, I do want to remind you, sharing is caring, and we're going to do a hardcore overhaul on somebody. So every time you share the video, you get your name put into the drawing 3 times. If you are here with us live, make sure you've said hello so that we know that you were here during the actual recording. You get your name in here, and if you tag someone that you know that needs this, then you also get your name put into the drawing again. Mm-hmm. And we're doing 2 drawings. We're doing one in July, so on July 16th, somebody's going to win an amazing session with Imani and myself to really do a hardcore overhaul, looking at you at your business and your marriage. But man, you freaking rock.
I'm like, this is so powerful, y'all. Yeah. And we really want we want what you might not even know is possible yet to be a reality.
Yes.
I mean, that's
the best way to put it.
Yeah, you know, that's.
Can you say it just one more time? We want you to know. Come on.
Yeah, okay. But no, really, we do want what you might not even believe is possible yet for your business and your marriage to be your actual reality. Absolutely. That's why we're here. I mean, really. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can stay here and chat with y'all all day.
Yeah,
but that's it. That's Couch Conversations. This is our 2nd week back. We will be back next week, and you never know when we might do an impromptu chat. For those of you that came, that were hanging out with us, oh my God, who was it? I saw Camise, Samoa, Tiffany, Edith.
Thank you, Valencia. She shared it. 3 in the pot for you.
Layla, you know, you guys were popping in. To everybody that came in.
Nishi, Felice, Rosario, Jansen, Quinn, Hope, and Valencia. We so appreciate you guys. And I'm putting in on my end, for those of you who want to connect with us, like August said, that want to really dig in and get some insight about what it looks like and what it entails to take this further, to move your marriage and your business further. We just put our the information in here for you guys, and make sure that you check that out. And
and that's it. And I had somebody watching on YouTube. I'm gonna have to chime in again.
Hey,
hi to YouTube.
We can't forget you because we all
look, my secret watcher, my secret viewer.
I know.
So look, we love you guys. We are about to get out of here, and I'm about to give my voice a break. It lasted.
Yeah, it did. It sounds good. I think it sounds good, y'all.
Yeah, I think it sounds
nice
good.
Rasp. Like you can sing a jazz song or something.
Anita Baker?
Yeah, you can talk about
Anita. Okay, she the singer, y'all. I ain't finna do that. All right, we love you guys. We out of here.
Thank you guys so much. I was like, where's that?